Hello, wonderful. This is Sarah K Ramsey here to talk about how toxic people talk. So often people assume I'm like a divorce coach or after a breakup or getting him out of your head or something along those lines. And that is a piece of what I do. But my real goal for you guys is to become toxic person proof, to not be taken advantage of, to not be put in a situation where you're vulnerable because someone is making you feel bad about being you or about having boundaries or anything like that. Because even if you find a great guy in your romantic relationship, or maybe you're married and you have a great guy and you're remarried, the chance is you're always going to run into toxic people. I don't know why I even said the chance is. Of course, you're going to keep running into toxic people, and everyone is not toxic. Everyone is not toxic. I do not want to ring the alarm bells as everyone is toxic. They aren't. They are assertive and sneaky. You better learn how to protect yourself against them. And it's not just about making sure you don't date another narcissist or something. It is about keeping yourself safe and protecting your soul and your mind and your heart and your work reputation and your child rearing and all the things, because we want to make, your kids could have a toxic teacher, you could have a toxic boss, all these things. And toxic people talk the same. And I had a toxic person encounter this week that I want to talk to you guys about and show you. It was all written, so I'm happy to show you exactly how I handled it, exactly what I did, why I did it, and my internal landscape and what I was thinking as it was happening. Because it made me mad. Sometimes people say, hey, how do you let toxic people not bother you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you ever want that? Of course you want toxic people to bother you. You don't want them to control your emotions or control you. But if they don't bother you, then you're going to keep putting up with bad behavior. My guess is it probably didn't bother you in years past, right? So that's concerning. and I don't want to get you to that place again. I want toxic people to bother you, but I don't want them to hijack your day or control you or tank your emotions for long periods of time or send you into shame or any of those things. I want you to be able to deal with it, acknowledge it, protect yourself from it, and move on. So, no further ado, my real life example. So my first encounter with this person, it was kind of it was my life coaching circle, which I love my life coaching friends. They're typically many are very heart-centered. They're problem solvers. I love my people, which is an important part of the story, because in our brains, we think of us versus them. So if there's another relationship coach who I'm in a coaching program with, I'm more likely to trust them because I feel like they are in my circle. If for example, you're like, oh, he's a friend of so-and-so. So you automatically give them a little more trust than if it was a complete stranger. Okay, it's an important part of this story. That's why there's a lot of toxic relationships even within churches. But he's a good guy, goes to church. Instantly, you drop your guard. Things like that. Okay, so my guard was a little down. I wasn't necessarily watching out for this because we were in the same life coaching group. So I thought, oh, must be good people. We chose the same coach. So it did not work out that way. So my first encounter, we were supposed to do a role play. And a role play means give and take. It means taking turns. It means you go, then I go. And I was very, 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 very frustrated with the conversation, to the point because I was like, okay, I'll go first. And I did a role play, but then it just ended up being peppered with questions about my business, about how I ran things, which is pretty common within the coaching world. Even it's not that weird for people to say, well, how much money did you make last month? That's not that weird in the coaching world, because we're always kind of pushing each other to be better and to figure out, oh, is that working for you or is it not working for you? So again, my guard was a little bit down because of the situation that it was in. But I remember just answering questions. I was so frustrated after I got off the phone, and I told my husband, I said, oh, I'm so angry. That conversation did not, I thought it was supposed to be role play, and it didn't turn out that way. And I don't feel like I got anything from that conversation. I just basically helped her with her business, which is not a bad thing if that's what the purpose of the call had been. If she said, hey, can I ask you some questions about the business? I would have said yes, and we could have talked, and I would have answered her questions. But when I went into the situation, it was supposed to be role play. And I carved aside my time. I was actually on vacation, and I carved aside my time because I knew I needed to role play. And so I thought, okay, this is what I need to do. It's part of the coaching program. I'm going to do it. And then that's not what happened, right? She kept asking questions. She kept asking questions. And I probably should have had better boundaries around it, but my guard was a little bit down. It was a pretty short conversation. And I was so angry and frustrated when I got off the phone. And I thought, why am I so angry and frustrated? I'm frustrated because there was no role play, and here's where it is. And here's what I was talking to you guys. Maybe she felt insecure to role play in front of me. So my empathy kicked in. Maybe she was insecure. So the reason we didn't role play is because she felt insecure. So she just needed help, and I helped her, and that was good. That was fine. Okay. Do you see how that was in alignment with my identity? My first thought was not, she's toxic and she's trying to steal my ideas. It was, well, I know my business is going better than hers, so she probably was insecure to do that in front of me. So she just needed some help. And maybe the reason I'm so triggered, because you guys will say things like, oh, I'm just so triggered by the situation. And I thought, God, I evaluated. I said, I am angry and frustrated. Why am I so mad? Is it me or is it her? Because she did not say anything ugly to me. And this is where, when you guys ask, we're talking, and you ask for a list of red flags, and you think safety is Googling a list of red flags, you're already going to miss it. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. This is the way to do it, is what I'm telling you right now. Okay. So my empathy kicked in, which is automatic. And I thought, I was willing to look back at myself. Why was I so mad? And I was like, I felt like it wasted my time, right? I felt like it was wasting my time. So I hate when people waste my time. So that's probably why I'm mad, And I knew enough from that short encounter that I did not want to have another phone call with her. So at that point, I did not set a boundary. I didn't have to. It was just like, oh, I'm not doing that again. Okay. So I want to be super honest and transparent and say, this is what I did right. This is what I did wrong. And, it's my automatic to be empathetic and to self-evaluate. So what's right about it is that I didn't let it stretch out. But I want to show you what happens. She was not mean to me on the phone. She was not ugly to me. She did not say mean things to me. I had no reason to think it was a toxic situation other than what my subconscious was picking up on, and how frustrated, to the point that I said, Ben, do you remember, my husband, Ben, do you remember that phone call that I was so frustrated after? And he was like, yes, I remember that. Like, that's crazy. It was months ago. And I was so frustrated that he even remembered that I was frustrated after this 30-minute call with someone who I was supposed to be role playing with. Maybe it was 45 minutes, not a long amount of time. I was very frustrated. And so then a little bit after that, within this coaching program, I realized she had changed around some of her language around her business to make it sound a lot more like mine. Okay. So one of the things I teach my clients, and I believe in wholeheartedly, is the 3 strikes you're out rule. So first strike, I really felt like something was off. I really felt like something was wrong. I really was uncomfortable with the situation. But maybe it was me wasting time. Maybe it was me, maybe she was having a hard day, because I do still want you to be kind, good, loving, and empathetic. That's what humans need. That's right. That's okay. I just don't want you not to be taken advantage of. Okay. So in that situation, I was like, I just had a bad feeling, so I'm not going to be on another call with her. Then she was kind of changing around her language to much more similar to mine. And I was just like, ugh, 2 strikes, you're out. But again, this is not someone I have a relationship with. You know, this is not someone I'm messaging. This is not someone, you know, at that point it's kind of 2 strikes, you're out. And I was like, I don't really want to help her anymore because I don't think she's being particularly ethical, and she's just kind of trying to make it sound more like my stuff. And I try in those situations to say, well, you know, there's a reason they're trying to be me. There's a reason they're trying to be like me. Because in the online world, you can imagine how often stuff is stolen, and you kind of have to make peace with it to some extent. And at that point, it felt like a little bit, I didn't feel like it was a very competitive situation because I was, you know, not really nervous about her as a, I hate to say the word competitor because it's talking about life coaches and people changing people's lives. So I even hate to use that word. Maybe that's my empathy again, but I thought, she's kind of messing with my stuff. I don't really want to have a relationship with her, but it didn't feel like enough of a threat at that point to even worry about it. Okay. So strike one, we have a conversation that I feel like, you know, pay attention to how I felt, not what happened, because there was no, if I had made a list of red flags, the only red flag would have been, she was asking me questions about my business, which people do all the time. Like, then I just felt icky. Okay. Then part two, I think, she used that phone call to try to change things in her business in a way that was just kind of stealing at that point. But again, I thought, well, it's not worth, I try to focus on me doing the right thing, not making other people do the right thing, because that is a waste of time. But 2 strikes, you're out. So I was already kind of wary, had already decided I wasn't giving her any more of my time. Then I get a message from someone who says that she is messaging several of my friends on Facebook, and they all happen to be people within the Wonder Woman program. And she was messaging them and basically trying to make friends with them to get them to do her program. So this is 3 strikes, you're out at this point. And that, I mean, to the person, you know, when I teach, one of the things I teach in the Wonder Woman program is don't ignore your instincts, right? So she said, I just felt weird. It felt like something was off. I think she's trying to, you know, use your relationship to get your people, and it felt like something was off. Is that true? Which, applaud to that woman who trusted her instincts and then did something about it. She took action on it. She didn't just assume she was wrong. She didn't assume she was bothering me. She cares about me. You know, I helped her with her life. So she reached out to me to help me with my life, you know, that's why I wasn't really that worried about that other person said, because I have such loyalty with my people. I thought, well, whatever. But then I'm not happy. And I look and I see several other of my friends and clients who were like mutual friends with her, and there's no other connection in the world other than me, and people had been in my life for a while now. And I went, oh, this is not good. So I had several options. I could have ignored it again, but it was a 3rd strike, you're out. I could have just not addressed it at all. I could have done several things. I did decide to reach out to her, and I reached out with a question. It seems like this is happening. Can you give me some more information to make sure I'm seeing the right thing? So I had a client reach out and said she thought you were trying to friend my clients. I noticed you'd friended several of my clients, and I just wanted to reach out before I assumed the worst. Okay, I wanted to reach out before I assumed the worst. I'm giving you an opportunity to, you know, make this right. Tell me, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I wasn't trying to do that at all. I just thought she was cool. You know, lots of things. You know, I wanted to get more information before I assumed the worst. So I went into it with positive intent and an opportunity for her to tell her side of the story with open ears. But I did not go in as a doormat, because it was the 3rd strike, you're out. Okay. Can you help me understand the friend request to my clients? Can you help me understand? I could be right, I could be wrong. There's no accusation. It's questions. Can you help me understand what's happening? I wanted to reach out before I assumed the worst. Okay, see my language there? That language is not that language is non-threatening if you aren't doing anything wrong. Hey, can you help me understand why your hair looks so pretty today? Hey, can you help me understand why you're such a good mother? Hey, can you help me understand why you're doing so well in your career? Asking more information isn't an issue unless they are trying to hide something, or they already feel some guilt, or they were hoping you didn't notice. If you're asking for more information about something someone feels really good about, or confident about, or comfortable about, or that it is they feel like they are acting in integrity, they are not offended. Hey, can you help me understand why you're, working so late? Are you getting ahead? It's only offensive. Your questions are only offensive if they don't want to tell you the answer. So I want to be very clear about that. I was just getting more information. Hey, Sarah, thanks for reaching out and expressing your concerns. That's good. I've hired an assistant to go into the groups I belong to and add as Facebook friends. I'm using someone, I don't have anything against Eleanor Strong. I don't know anything about her, so this is not a conversation about her or her strategy. Using this method, I have no idea whether these women are anyone's current or past clients. The women are mainly from other divorce groups. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not in your group, right? All that's fine, okay? But a little, that part's fine. There wasn't necessarily a apology, but okay, maybe her assistant was friending my people and she didn't know that the relationship, to some extent, the trust that this person and I had with each other. Okay, I get that. Or maybe it is from other groups. Okay, I get that. I'll have some empathy. I ask for more information, and I'll, with believe that you're telling the truth to some extent, because that can be logical. It makes sense. It's certainly not my intention to put your clients using this method. I have no idea if anyone is anyone else's client. Your clients are no doubt members of several groups beyond yours. Okay, so at this point, I feel like I need more information. Is this person telling the truth, or is this person not telling the truth? What other groups are they a part of? Can I get more information on this? So I reached back out to the other people. I'd gotten information from one of my clients who are my friends on Facebook. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask the others. Hey, how did you find this person? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Or are you guys part? Because it's very easy on Facebook to see if they're in the same groups or see what's happening. And I want to calmly collect more information rather than make an accusation. But since it was 3 strikes, you're out, I was already a little mad. And I knew I was. So I did not respond back to her. You can see 8:17 a.m. I did not respond back to her after that, because I knew I needed more information to have a intelligent, logical conversation. Okay, so I reached back out to them, and they all said, no, the only thing we had in common, because it'll say on Facebook, oh, you have this group in common or something on that. So the only thing when I reached back out to those ladies, they said the only thing we had in common was you. And I thought it was weird, and my spidey sense went up. And here's what I want you to pay attention to. But I thought, since she was friends with you, she was a safe person, because these women trusted me. They automatically trusted her, because that's how toxic people get people, right? So I want to be very clear and have you pay attention to what happened, and how I had to be in alignment with my integrity and say, whoa, these random people I can be on, my life coaching friends on Facebook, the people who know, like, and trust me are making decisions based on a friend request or, a friendship on Facebook. I may not even know that person, but they are assuming I give them my seal of approval. Okay. Pay attention to that when you're trying to figure out if someone's toxic, because their guard, I let my guard down because they were a life coach, and they let their guard down because they assumed she was friends with me, and therefore I had given her my seal of approval. See how dangerous all this is? See what's happening? I did not respond back. I collected more information. I did not assume the worst. I did not lash out. I did not say you're lying. I collected more information so I could make an intelligent decision. And I also always give yourself time if you're upset. Later on, I can't remember the time on that. It was several hours later. I wanted to look back with you to complete my thought from my previous message. To be honest, I was a bit taken aback and have to share that because I felt on the defensive because I experienced your communication as a tad accusatory. Let's see, what did I say? Accusatory. I had a client reach out and say she thought you were trying to reach my clients. Okay, fact. I had a client reach out and say she thought you were trying to friend my clients. This is what my client said to me. Fact. You and I have several mutual friends on Facebook, but the only connection is me. Choice. I wanted to reach out before I assumed the worst. Collecting information. Can you help me understand the friend request to my clients? Because she didn't like it, I was taken aback and felt on the defensive. If she had not meant to do that and had no idea what she was doing, why would she feel on the defensive? Okay, so no apology. I experienced your communication as a tad accusatory. And maybe it was, because it was the third strike, you're out. But it's not accusatory if it's like, oh my gosh, your hair always looks so good. It doesn't feel accusatory because you're proud to say, oh, thank you, my hair does look good. It's, she experienced my communication as a tad accusatory because she was doing something that was a bit sketchy, not because of my communication. I want to pay attention to that. I want to decode this for you because I could have gone on defensive at that point and I could have started to feel bad and I could have backtracked and I could have turned it back on myself, but I didn't. The majority of my Facebook friend requests were sent to people who liked or commented on my Facebook ad. The rest came from groups. I'm friending people and it's a coincidence that they were your clients. Except my clients had said they felt like it was weird. My clients had said they had not found her any other way. My clients said they were not in mutual groups with her. My clients had said, do you see what I'm saying? We operate in a similar space and no doubt have some overlap. Yes, if magic, you find someone in the groups, no problem, no issue with that. But it doesn't seem like that's what's happening. I don't deal with toxic relationships per se, they do come up. Okay. Appreciate our relationship. Happy to hop on the phone whenever it's convenient so you and I can be on the same page. I look forward to connecting. Okay. And I could make a choice at that point. Happy to hop on the phone so we can be on the same page. There was no apology. Okay. I asked for more information and she started defending. So at that point, I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Do I want to be on the phone with this person? No. I didn't like it the first time I was on the phone with the person. This is kind of 3 strikes, you're out. But I'll give her a bit more information, a bit more of the benefit of the doubt, and I'll give her some of the information that my clients had told me. Okay, so I requested more information. Then let's see what happens. So, also I want to say this. I look forward to connecting versus would you be okay with connecting? If I'm upset because I feel like a boundary has been crossed, she never asked if I was okay. She was trying to tell me that what she did was okay. Okay, so I want to point that out. Okay, so here you can see where the original client had reached out to me, and you can see that it was 2:37 p.m. This is when the client reached out to me, Monday evening, and this is Tuesday at 2:37. So I slowed the conversation. It was not quick. I also want to point out, here's where I typed things, but I want you to point out how many more words she is using than me. You should not be defending yourself or explaining yourself more than they are. Okay. Want to point out, okay. Basically what that person said is, I just want to let you know that I received a friend request from this person. You are our only mutual friend. I think she's trying to grow her business by finding your clients. You might be aware and fine with it, but I just wanted to let you know, I will not accept her invitation without knowing you are aware. And that is what operating in integrity in business, when people leave you and they still love you. Thank you, and I hope you and your family are doing well in this crazy time. So I send that message to this person and said, this is what I got. So you see why I would have felt a bit taken aback when I saw several other of my paying clients as your friends. That's weird. There's not another life coach in the whole world that I would see that with. So that's okay. I said, I don't, and I assumed the best. Positive intent again. You see this? You know, she's saying, oh, I'm thinking you're accusatory. Positive intent again. I don't think you were trying to hurt me or my business, but it does feel yucky. I told you how I, okay? I didn't say you're dirty, blah, 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 and I can't believe you're doing this to me, and da, 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 and you're lying, and da, da, da. I didn't get into that. I assumed the best still at this point. I said, but I feel yucky. Your actions make me feel not good. In the simplest terms, which as a fellow life coach, a fellow healer, that's appropriate language, right? I have several other relationship coach friends, and we have been very careful to protect against this. I know you and I had no such understanding, so I don't necessarily do anything wrong, but it is out of the alignment with choices I've made in my relationships with other coaches. What I'm basically saying is, your actions do not align with my integrity. Your actions do not align with my integrity. And I could do exactly what you've done and go into other groups and go into this and find other people. But on Facebook, it very easily says that we're mutual friends. This isn't like a guessing game, right? It says right there, the only mutual friend is me. This is pretty clear about what's happening, okay? You and I had no such understanding, so I don't think you did anything wrong, but it's out of alignment with choices I've made in my relationships with other coaches because I'm playing the long game. Here, where this client reached out to me, I won't even accept a friend request if you don't know. And I wanted you to be aware. Okay, that's loyalty. And if I'm not loyal to my people, they're not going to be loyal back. And if I am disloyal to other people I'm in relationships with and disloyal to other coaches, eventually it's going to come out and people aren't going to like it, as they shouldn't. When you have the integrity of loyalty in everywhere in your life, it creates a better life. And this is, I feel like what this person is really missing. And that, you know, her choices are out of alignment with my integrity. Thanks for sharing the screenshot and your perspective. It turns out that I see things differently. Okay. No acknowledgement of that she made me feel yucky. No acknowledgement that I feel hurt by her actions. And no acknowledgement that, whoa, this was such a big deal if the client reached out to me. Basically, it turns out that I see things differently because the actions I am choosing are advantageous to me. So I'm not worried about whether or not they bother you. And you'll see this theme coming across. Here's my take. I wouldn't mind at all if anyone with friends, another coach, in the post-divorce space. And look at what she says. It's not an issue for me, so it shouldn't be an issue for you. I wouldn't mind at all if anyone I'm friends with is friends. And this poor Bethany girl, she's not a threat either. So basically, like, well, if someone smaller than me is doing this to me, then I don't have an issue with it because it's not hurting. If it's not hurting me, it shouldn't be hurting you. If it doesn't make me feel bad, it shouldn't make you feel bad, and you shouldn't call me on it. Remember the whole, I feel a tad bit defensive? Now watch this. She spiritualizes it. I try to operate as much as possible from an abundance mindset. It's my belief that none of us are competitors with each other. The client who resonates with me must not likely resonate with you, vice versa. Someone who'd go with Bethany wouldn't go with me. Now, the only time I've heard people use the abundance mindset is when, I want you to imagine, flowers. There are an abundance of flowers in the world. And if someone comes to your yard and cuts the flowers from your front porch, and then you say, whoa, why did you cut my flowers? And they come back and say, there's an abundance of flowers in the whole world. I try to operate that there's an abundance of flowers. Do you see how it's a power play? And like, I try to operate as if it's an abundance mindset. You should also operate from an abundance mindset, which means If there's all kinds of flowers in the world, you shouldn't mind me cutting them off your front porch. Do you see how tricky that is? Because in many years of my past life, I would have, oh man, she's right. She operates from an abundance mindset and I don't. Oh, I'm supposed to be good at that. She's better at that than me, which is not what's happened. Because the reality is, if she truly operated off an abundance mindset, then there's an abundance of other people who are not connected to me that she could connect with. But she did the flip and tried to make it seem like she was holier or better or whatever than me. Okay. And not that it's competitors with each other, it's just out of respect. It's just out of respect. And I don't know any other, in all my years of coaching, no one else has ever done this to me, and I've never done to anyone else. So this is a big no-no in this space. My program is different from yours, has different objectives and components. No, it doesn't, because I heard you change yours to sound like mine. Different duration, different price point. The modalities come from not only the coaching. So she's defending, okay, and she's in the divorce space. Come on now, come on, people. It's a pretty big stretch for her to say it's different. But I agree that if people who've gone through my program, they don't need her program. It's just bad form. And the flip is what was so bad, flipping it on the abundance mindset. Women who watch my webinar, now watch this. Women who watch my webinar go into my email list. I would find it time consuming and silly to see if any of them are on other coaches' mailing lists. And I just assume they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it's not wrong for me and if it's good for my business, I'm going to say it's not wrong for you. Complete disregard for anything along the lines. I hate, it's not that I'm too sensitive. I'm over this situation, but it's a great show of you guys to see the flip and see how she tried to make me feel bad and see how she tried to excuse her behavior and see how she completely ignored that I felt she violated a boundary. I did check with other life coaches too to make sure. I was like, does this feel like a boundary for you? Is this just me? Some people I respect to give me some ammo for this conversation. But here, this whole email list thing, this was a conversation about you friending my friends on Facebook, which you can see we are the only mutual friend. I didn't ask you to go through your email list and double check it against mine. But do you see how it would make me, if I did not know what was going on, it would make me feel bad. It would make me think, oh, I'm being too sensitive. I'm making a big deal about nothing. Okay. She over exaggerated it and made it seem as if I was asking her to do something that I never one time mentioned about the email list. And still no regard to the boundaries and no apology for, basically, if it's not wrong for me, it's not wrong for you. Remember the assistant? So she said, I don't know if you're in my group, but she did not ask if her assistant was in my group. And so here, I could have started defending myself. I could have, you see all the language, all the words. I see things differently. You should operate, I operate off an abundance mindset because I'm better than this. It's my belief that none of us are in competition with each other. Great, then cut flowers out of someone else's garden that you don't know, who's not helped you. My program is different. Email list, distract from the problem is, are you in my group collecting people? Why are you reaching out to my people? Do you see all the words and all the distraction and all the defense? And here I said, can you let me know your assistant's name so I can check? Go back to solving the problem. What is your assistant's name so I can see if she's in my group? Can you let me know your assistant's name? No response. I didn't get caught in the game. I didn't get distracted from all the flips, the verbiage, the trying to make it seem as if I was too sensitive, to this, to that. The problem was, how are you getting to my people? And why are you connecting to them? And so language, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you shouldn't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I say, can you let me know your assistant's name so I can check? Ghost. Silence. Do you see that? See what happened? So as soon as I bring it back to the problem and ask a very direct question and not get caught up in all the storm that she tried to create of abundance mindset, email list, and things that I had never said, she goes silent. So I guarantee you the assistant is in that group, which I'll have to check on and figure that out. So I didn't give my power away. I didn't go on defense. I stated my feelings. I asked for more information, but I wasn't a doormat. Okay? I tried to give her information so she could understand where I was coming from. And it turns out I see, and what she told me is, I don't care that it bothered you. It turns out I see things differently. And if this works for me, then I'm going to keep doing it, which is her choice. She is now blocked because remember that whole like people trusted her and thought I aligned with her integrity and values because we were Facebook friends. That is not something I want. I do not align with her. If she is any type of divorce space and she cannot have a conversation around boundaries and she is that comfortable overstepping other people's boundaries and not caring if they hurt people's feelings, that is not someone I want to send my clients to. I don't care if she does have a different, I don't think her program, I mean, it is different because it has nothing to do with toxic people, which is a huge part of my program. But I don't want people, I don't want her to use me as a reference because her actions do not align with my integrity. Her ability to flip things and over spiritualize them and make it seem like I'm too sensitive and not apologize and not care how I feel does not align with who I want to be and who I want. Of course, my clients can work with other people, and of course they will in their life. I don't want them to need me forever. I don't want to send them to people who are so good at toxic talk and who do not align with my integrity. And I hope that helps you guys slow down the conversation. Make sure that you, ask for information. Don't necessarily assume, right? I even said, I don't want to assume the worst. Ask for more information. Tell them how you feel. Your actions made me feel bad. And then if they say, I don't care that my actions made you feel bad, don't make excuses for them. Try to solve the problem and then cut off the communication. Because this was a pretty small step in my life. It is not a big deal to me, but it's something that could, if you don't shut toxic people down, they will continue to eat away at you and eat away at maybe your business, your life, your happiness, your health, whatever. So I hope that gives you some insight into how I deal with toxic people and how I did not allow her words and her twisting things around and her flip to make me feel like I did something wrong. I held strong to, I think you did something wrong and you violated our relationship. And she says, I don't think I did. I don't have a problem with how I violated you. And I say, oh, okay, so you don't have a problem with how you violated me. We shouldn't be friends anymore. Thank God I didn't jump on the phone with her and try to drag this out for another 6 weeks. She showed me who she was, and she has the absolute choice. I also did not try to talk her out of her belief. I did not try to change her mind or say she's hurting other people or try to have her grow ears to hear. Okay, this is who she wants to be. This is not who I choose to align myself with, and I need to protect myself from you. I hoped we could come to an agreement, and this is who you are choosing to be. So I want to solve the problem. Can you let me know your assistant's name so I can check? She did not want to answer that question, which is a very bad sign on her part. And again, not aligned with the integrity of who I want to be. So I hope that helps you guys and helps you guys see how I try to logic my way through it and keep myself toxic person proof. I know that was a lot of info. It's dang good info. Watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. Have a great day.